it was on Sunday and maybe they wanted to stay home in their, fuzzy sweatpants and sip coffee, they still got up to do it because, wow, Krystal and Women of Denver, that meets my need, and I'll do it for them.
Yeah, so true. People will get out of their own comfort zones to do something when you connect with them in that deeper way. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I've really loved doing lately is really getting out and speaking more and being able to have these opportunities to talk to as a moderator, because I got to do this really cool experience. I spent the whole year last year excited for it, but I got to interview this really amazing woman called Billie Jean King that did this huge tennis match back in the day called the Battle of the Sexes, and she fought for things that mattered to her. And I got to sit next to her in front of 3,000 people for an organization that I had already been supporting for years that I love, called the Women's Foundation of Colorado. And that was my first time having a big interview. And I have another one coming this year, but I also just recently did a smaller panel event with about 75 women that I got to talk to these brilliant women, and doing these sorts of things, building my speaker chops and being a panel moderator and all of those kinds of things has given me the chance to connect with people on a whole different level with having these, what I feel are vulnerable conversations, because these people they've been in front of the spotlight for so long. There's no bars in front of them. They're willing to talk about it all. And I feel like I get to have mentorship through those conversations and through researching the women before I get in front of the audience with these questions, talk to them. And so that's been a really great experience of connecting in with other people and kind of following the spirit of success and, the journey that's led to all the impact that they've made. And I feel like it's molding me a little bit more to even see how other people have made these powerful impacts and how I might be able to do more with my life. I mean, I have so much life ahead of me to be able to create more and connect more and, continue to do things and take actions that matter. And so I think I've started to take in from these women that I've gotten to talk to and that I've been researching, and, starting to create a sense of what I want with the rest of this. Because, I mean, for some people, what I've done so far is, this is great. I've achieved a level of greatness at a really young age. And so I'm trying to figure out, what do I want with the rest of this? How much impact do I want to make, and how do I want to do that, and exploring that right now through these, following these leaders. And so I always encourage people to do things like, watch interviews, read memoirs, and really learn from these people, because they've had some incredible lives. Their sparkle shines so bright that it can teach us a little bit more about how we can really let ours shine as much as it can be, because it's not just a natural force. It's something that you work on. It's something that you progress with as you just make decisions and say, this is where I want my life to shine. This is how I want to make an impact in the world. And you have to dedicate your life to taking actions that get you there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And what I like about how you talk about that progression, in my work and in my workshops, I use burlesque as the analogy. And burlesque is, and it's revealing, taking off layers of clothing. And it has nothing to do with nudity. In actual burlesque, you don't get nude. It has nothing to do with that. But it's revealing what lies beneath. And what I always find, and why I use that, my book is centered all around that, is you take off one layer and you see, there's more here that I didn't know. And then you take off that layer and then you think, oh my gosh, I thought there was going to be, like a blue corset under there, but actually there's a hot pink bikini under there. Wow, that's totally different. I didn't expect that. And so many times, the more layers down we go, the more we do, the more we see, the more we realize, like you were saying, for many people, Women of Denver would have been enough. But you're seeing, no, there's another layer. There's more impact. There's more people who have needs, and I can serve them. And, as I see that, I see those layers of clothing coming off. I see you revealing more and more of your sparkle and of your gifts. And that's beautiful, because we don't know how many layers there are oftentimes. We just know that we're like the image of the kid in the snowsuit in Christmas Story, where he can't put his arms down because he has too many layers on. Most people live their lives covered up, and you took some big, brave, courageous steps to start this group, to do a meetup, to create it, to show up on stage when you're not comfortable being on stage, to moderate events, to interview people, and bam, look what's happening because of the bravery of those first few steps.
Yeah, so powerful. You talked about something, and I'm not going to get it right, but when I was reading through everything that you publicize, it was about women wanting to be valued for what they can do for others. And the fact that we can often still be last on our own list. And that really resonated with me, because it's one of those things that, on this journey through all of the things, all of the impact, I think it's always important to remember to come back to self as well. And, I want to make sure that we leave off on, one of those notes of some of the wisdom that you put out there in the world of even for myself, I have lived sometimes way too much for outward giving. And I've been a volunteer. I mean, I take care of myself. I exercise. I watch tons of television. I eat junk food. I feel like I live a good life, but I feel like I've had a lot of seasons where I have really focused outward and not really done a lot for me. And this is the first season of my life where I'm really trying to be better at that and be more even and say, okay, I have a life too. And I would, no matter how tired I was or no matter how much I needed for myself, I was over giving to the point that I got burnt out and sick a couple times. Even one of the years of Women of Denver, and I had to ask a group of friends, and I said, can you guys help me to lead these events, because I'm actually physically exhausted and I can't do it because I had done too much. And as a introvert, I was over. So, how I gave that running example, I was running a mile when I really had the stamina for half a mile. And so I was running a mile constantly and overdoing it. So I had to take a break and give other people they really enjoyed it. There was a couple of other women that started leading the events for me every time. And I just took some time away. I had a new job anyway. And it, the new job required a lot of me. But it was important for me to take that step back and say, I need time. And then at this moment right now, I don't need to take a step back in that kind of thing right now. I feel like I have all the energy in the world to, lead my Women of Denver events and things like that. But taking time to just figure out, what do I want? Who do I want to be in my own life? And part of that was egged on by my husband, who says, well, what do you want for you? I'm like, well, Women of Denver, this is my, he's like, yeah, for your business. What about for you? And I never really thought of that. So I'm, kind of creating the world I want for me now as well. And considering deeply what that means for the rest of my, or at least the next few years. You can't figure out the rest of your life at, 34. What age am I? I forget my age. I'm not even 35. 34 years old. Can't figure out the rest of my life right now. But I can kind of figure out, who do I want to be in the next 5, and what kind of things do I want to have in my world? And let that be a part of the decisions too, and not just how I want to make an impact all the time.
Mm-hmm. Because our life is about us, and nobody lives our life for us except us. Nobody can experience our life except us. And it is up to us to create magical moments, to create happy times. And I think for so many people, they claim they want to be happy because you're supposed to claim that you want to be happy. But then there's also guilt around happiness. If we say I had the best day ever and I sat around in jammies and had junk food and watched Netflix, there's that kind of guilt feeling sometimes, especially women get, because they should be doing more.
Yeah.
And we need to enjoy it. It's our life. It's our life.
Yeah. Don't let your self-worth be tied to action all the time.
Mm-hmm. And that also goes to, I think, some of the meetings at Women of Denver. I was looking through the schedule of events for Women of Denver, and I signed up for the ones that excite me, the ones that I'm curious about. And it's not about, I need to go network because I'm going to meet women and then I'm going to sell my services. It's about, oh, this will be fun. This will be great. It brings joy to me. And there's nothing wrong with doing things that bring us joy. We should do what brings us joy. So kind of with that, what do you do routinely to nourish yourself and to bring yourself joy?
I am a couch loafer. I just love to just sit on the sofa, eat some dark chocolate cookies or some coconut ice cream, and sometimes take a walk with my neighbor. She doesn't know, but she's the only reason I get out of the house sometimes in the daytime. So those are the little pleasures in life, is going for a walk in the day, sitting on the couch, watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch or something silly like that on Netflix, and just being a vegetable.
Mm-hmm. What I love about that, and what I want listeners to focus in on, that you're not saying, go on a 2-week Caribbean cruise, buy this, have this, do this. These are things that you can do day in, day out. You can be a couch loafer for 15 minutes and renew your soul and pretty much spend no money and need no equipment. And I think that is so valuable, because many women get locked into self-care as a spa day. Self-care can be a spa day, but oh my gosh, we can't all do a spa day every day or every week. I love that what you're talking about is what's truly valuable. We can all do something that makes us happy. One of my guilty pleasures is just reading. Even if I read 3 pages of a novel or 2 paragraphs before I fall asleep, I did it for me.
Yeah, life can be really simple. It's funny how much we complicate things sometimes. And, but I'm also a cheapie. I never needed much. So
I love that. Well, where can listeners learn more about you or about Women of Denver?
They can visit my website at krystalcovington.com, Krystal with a K, to learn a little bit about me. They can learn Women of Denver directly at thewomenofdenver.com to see events that are coming up, kind of watch some videos to meet our members and learn a little bit about what the organization stands for and what we've got going on.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your grounding crystal-like energy with us today, and your story of how you built your dreams and lived your sparkle.
Thanks for being here and creating so much value for the women out there that are listening.
You are welcome. Listeners, have a fantastic day. I challenge you to find something fun and simple that you can do today